What's up, Akima? So you are an artist, you're a poet, which actually makes you a writer as well. So you're a poet and a writer. When did you first get into writing poetry?
I started writing poetry, I want to say senior year of high school, so like 2018. I kind of just started writing it because I felt really overwhelmed in class and I didn't really know like what to do with all my emotions pretty much. So I basically put my pen to paper and I'm able to express myself that way because I really cannot talk to people about problems or anything because I have a very high fear of judgment. And people say, "Oh, I won't judge you" or whatever, but no, no, I don't talk to people. I'm not good at it.
Would you say that a lot of artists they use like poetry or writing as like a form of therapy? And if so, do you use it as therapy?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think artists can definitely use their writing as like I just said like their therapy because like I said, it's really hard to talk about it. So it's easier to write because like no one else is seeing it. It's just you and the paper. It's like just like when you go to like talk to a counselor or something, it's just you and them. It's like it's confidential. And there's nobody else who can see it except for you. Like you know what you want to say and you're able to do it in this way. So it's like I don't know. That's how I use it. That's how I use my writing. It's like it's just to get out everything. Better to get it out than to sit there and dwell on it like I used to.
I think that's really powerful that you do that. I think the earlier you explore that, like in age, the better off you are in life, honestly, because a lot of times people go through life like with a lot of pain, a lot of hurt from past experiences, and sometimes that'll cause them to have either drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and just to hear you even articulate that writing poetry and spoken word is something that you do to not bottle up those emotions is powerful, and I think the whole world needs to hear that because a lot of people need that motivation in their lives. So shout out to you, Akuma.
Thanks.
Come on. So like as like you're writing, um, I guess like now I'm wondering like what are some of the common like emotions that like come out of like your art? Because if you're not always like able to express it and you're putting it down like on pen and paper, what's like one of the main ones that always ends up coming up for you?
Usually it's like not emptiness. That sounds so bad. That sounds horrible. But like it's usually ends up being like sadness or like depression or something like that. Or something like if I'm panicking or something and I'll write it down, it like kind of helps me calm down. So usually it's depression or just either stress, depression, or like just being overwhelmed altogether or panicking. Those are usually the four emotions that come out. I have a few things that are like happy and stuff. Like I still like, and I usually try to end them on a high note because you can't just leave them with like, that's heavy. That's pretty heavy. You can't just be.
Like as like an artist, I feel like you have like all like the free will to be able to do that. But I think with like a lot of like great artists, it's like always employing like their vulnerability into their work. Like sure, like we can always talk about like some happy stuff, but we want to talk about like what got you from like being down, like and then like what had gotten you like to the gratitude. So I definitely feel like everything that you're saying. That's so dope.
I was gonna add on one more thing, Akima. One thing I want to work on with you is not doubting yourself. Like the way you answer the question is the way you feel. We want to uplift whoever you are and what you feel at the core, whether it's emptiness, loneliness, depression, anxiety. We want you to feel like you're being supported by us, no matter the feelings, whether you think it's important or not. And when we get that writing outside of the paper and pen and in person type of communication, that's when I feel like you're just gonna be on top of the world. You're gonna be a leader that everybody wants in their team, all of that good stuff. So
like you don't always have to explain yourself like, oh, like that sounds like this or like that sounds like that. It's like
Oh
if that's
yeah.
how you feeling, like it's okay because those feelings are very human and like everybody experiences that. And the more that you express that, like the more that people are gonna relate to you and the more that people are gonna want to know about you too.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think I need to work on that. I do apologize for like everything. I have no idea why. I just do. Okay, not that it's my fault, but I feel like it's my fault because I don't see what somebody else did usually. So it's like if I apologize, then it'll make things better or like make things right. I don't know. I have
Yeah,
no
that
idea.
makes complete sense. I think like a lot of us do that. I even fall into it. I know a bunch of people who do fall into that. They're like, you know what? Like I know what it's like to feel bad. and I don't want somebody else to feel that feeling. So if I just have to say sorry so that you don't have to experience that, and so that we could just move on from like this feeling, fine, whatever, I'll say it. And there's like a lot of strength in that. Like that's not even like a bad thing, but I feel like a lot of people, they don't always understand that. So do you like at this moment, do you identify as being like an artist, since sometimes it could be like such a intimidating title to have?
I mean, you can call me what you want. I'm just kidding.
But what do you call you?
I don't really consider myself a artist per se. I mean now, yeah, because I started writing music, but like before, when like I was just doing like poetry or like spoken word, I just called it like I was just being expressive. I was someone who expressed what other people were feeling. So not like a artist per se.
I feel like even like with me, I'm like, no, like I don't identify because I'm not like all up in there. I'm not like on the charts,
Yeah.
or I'm not like on stage like all the time. But the main reason why I asked you that question is because I guess I want you to start getting used to the idea of like calling yourself an artist, because I feel like at that point you're kind of like claiming that power. And then like the more that you claim that you are an artist, the more that you're able to like have that believability like come out like in your work. So I just wanted to get you to start thinking about that. That was why I had asked you that. Yeah.
I feel like the title, like it'll make me not different, but I feel like it will somehow alter the way I write. Like it's going to change the way I write, because I usually write entirely based on emotion, like whatever I'm feeling in that moment. Like sometimes it gets like I'll start crying, I can't even finish writing. I don't know. I don't want to like to change the way I do things, or like my approach basically. Because I feel like when I think of an artist, I think of someone, they go to like the studio, or they sit down and they know what they want to write about. They have like a clear like an idea of what they want to write about, or like a certain way of writing and stuff. Like, and I don't do that. Like it's impulsive. So I don't want to like I feel like it's gonna change the way I do things, even though it probably won't. It most likely won't, because I do things the way I want to do them, regardless. But I don't know. No, maybe I'm just thinking too much. Probably.
No, you're good. And plus, yes, you do know, because not every artist is always like in the studio. Like everybody has like their different ways of like producing it, and people have like their writer's block and stuff. And also for like another question, in like a perfect world where people don't misunderstand things, like how would you want people to feel like when they come across your art?
Basically, like community, kind of like that you're understood, basically. Like I get it completely. Like that's pretty much it. I understand.
Nice. Is that how you want people to feel whenever they just talk to you in general,
Yeah,
outside of your artistry?
yeah, because a lot of people don't feel understood, and me included, I do not feel understood. And it's really, especially when it's hard to get things out, and like you're like stuttering, or like like how I keep saying, like, or you're trying to put things together or give like a metaphor of something, and nobody knows what you're talking about. And then you finally like you read something, it's like that's what I feel, or that's what like I've been trying to explain this whole time. So I just pretty much want to feel like understanding, like, you know.
I guess if you were to like talk to your like younger self, like before you got like the courage to be like an artist and to be like on like this platform, like talking to us, or to even like other aspiring artists out there, like what is like a quote or like a message that you would give to them to like keep moving forward?
Ooh, maybe it's okay to do it your way. Like you don't have to fit in a certain category. You know? Yeah, do it your way. Because that's what I struggle with, doing it my way. Because I see other people doing it a certain way and they do it right, and I'm like, maybe if I do it differently, I won't like it's not going to be right, even though it has like the same result or something. So it's like, do it your way. You got this.
That's like trusting like your own process. And I think that's like where like a lot of people do get bogged down. Like they see how other people's ways is like working for them, and they're like, ooh, should I do it their way? But then it's not authentic or genuine to the way that you normally do things. So it's hard like when you're creating like your own path instead of like following somebody else's. So I like that. That's a really good message, Akima.
But we do want to send you some positive affirmations and positive vibes, girl. We love you. We hope to see you again on the 22nd, and we're going to just look out for an email from me, okay? And always feel free to hit me up. All right, Akima. Well, take care, okay?
You too.
Bye.